I've been playing a ton of Granblue Fantasy Relink. As you can see, I already have a couple of level 40 characters. I've already unlocked quite a few, and there's quite a few things that I think the game doesn't highlight too well, or may be confusing to some players, and so today's video I will be making a complete beginner's guide to this game, so that you can have a better experience playing Granblue Fantasy Relink. So if you enjoy any of my guides, please subscribe to the channel, and if you have any questions, feel free to show up in my live streams and ask away. With that being said, hello everyone, my name is Dark Hero, and let's get started. One of the very first things you'll want to do in Granblue Fantasy Relink is start unlocking different characters, so you can fully customize your entire party setup. The way to unlock characters in this game is by coming here to this NPC, and very early on into the game you'll receive what is called a crewmate card, which allows you to simply select one character from this entire list, and they will simply join your roster and you'll be able to play with them. So as you can see, I have already unlocked Ferry, Narmaya and Percival as well, and by the way, let me know which character I should unlock next. And once you reach chapter 4, I believe, you're able to take on this side quest where you fight against the Furicane boss fight, and as you can see right there on the right side, you'll receive a crewmate card. As you can see, I have been mostly focused on trying to get S++ on all the missions, or at least as many of them as I can, so I haven't done a lot of the story, but the more you progress you're going to be able to find these tickets very easily, so don't worry about that. Something to note, however, is that whenever you unlock a new character through the ticket method, their highest level that the character is going to come is going to be level 20. And as you can see right here, my Fairy is underleveled compared to the rest of the party because I received her at level 20 when everyone else was around level 29 or so. That being said, if you want to level characters very quickly, either to catch up or because you want to unlock new stuff, you can take on this side quest called Fort Fumigation, which you unlock fairly early on, and as you can see from the first clear rewards, you get the sigil Fast Learner, which is going to make it so that your character gains a little bit more experience whenever you do anything in the game, allowing them to level up that much faster. You should make sure you pay attention to what the clear rewards are going to be at the end of the quest, as they can prove to be very valuable additions to your party. That being said, in case you're looking for a specific item, let's say for example I wanted to farm these champion merits from the side quests, I can press triangle, which will add this item to the wish list, and so whenever I go to the quest counter and I choose the option to undertake a quest, I have the option to press the square button and then I can pick from any of the wish list items that I have to see if there is a quest that is going to reward me with that item. And among all of these items, you can even add the tickets so that you can very easily spot whenever you have a quest available that is going to give you that. Another very important thing in Granblue Fantasy Relink is a special type of quest called the Fate Episode, which you can access through the quest counter, and here you can take on one of these Fate episodes, and the icon that shows up next to the title of the episode will determine if it's one of these episodes where it's just a screenshot in the background with some text, which is simply lore associated with that character, so you can go ahead and read this to get a better understanding on each of the characters' backgrounds. And the reason why you want to do this is because you do gain stats at the end of these Fate episodes. Additionally, there are these episodes with the two swords icons that, instead of giving you stats, will actually give you a sigil slot, which is a lot more important. But of course, in these ones you actually have to go on a quest where you'll be playing as that character. It's usually very fast and easy quests that you can knock out very quickly, and you get an additional sigil out of it, so make sure you do all of these. Now, something to note is that as you're going to play throughout the game, you're going to forge new weapons for each of your different characters, and you're going to want to level them up for various reasons. And as you do so and as you upgrade your sigils as well, you may find yourself running out of money, but let me tell you, do not be afraid to sell some of these items. Just like in Monster Hunter, there are items that are specifically made just to be traded in for, in the case of Granblue Fantasy Relink, rupees, which is the main currency, and so you're able to freely sell these and you'll have more money to spend. Now, one of the most important things about making sure that your character becomes stronger in this game is the sigils. These are going to vastly increase the damage output of your character, they can help with your survivability, they can increase your critical hit rate, they can add stun power, and so much more. That being said, whenever you have these equipped, if you want to see the effect of each of these sigils, from the gear menu, if you press the R3 button, you get these pop-ups which tells you that stun power will boost your stun power, attack is going to boost your attack power, and charged attack is going to increase the damage of your charged attacks. All of that sounds reasonable, but you don't really know exactly how much it increases by. But you can press the triangle button here, and that allows you to see exactly just how much you get out of each of the different sigils and what thresholds you want to meet to get exactly what bonuses. And if you come here to inventory, you can come down to the sigils page and you'll be able to see that with all of the sigils that you have collected throughout the game. Another very key part in making your character stronger in this game is completing the mastery page for each of the different characters. Of course, the masteries that you want to unlock first on your character are going to be the ones that give you active skills. Of course, some of these may not be as powerful as some others, so they may be something that you don't prioritize to unlock right away. But I would also tell you to make sure that you unlock some of the bigger nodes, as they can provide you with some very beneficial passives to your character. Now, some of these are going to be character specific, like this one for example allows Percival to charge his skill a lot faster, and this one allows Rosetta's roses to last a little bit longer, and this would increase the level of the roses. These are incredibly important for this character, so make sure you prioritize them, so do not sleep on the masteries. A very cool thing that masteries also allow you to do is, for example, let's say you want to come down and unlock this one, but you need still to unlock these two to get there. The game allows you to, by simply clicking on the last one, unlock all the other masteries that are on the way to get that last one. Do be careful about spending your mastery points because, especially at the beginning, you're not going to have a lot of them, and with how many characters you have from the start, you may want to start investing in all of them, and that may end up leaving you starved for mastery points very early. So I would advise you to not spend a lot of them, put some into Gran and some other character that you may want to unlock, and later on you start to invest more mastery points into the rest of the cast. Now, you may not have this third tab that I have right here already unlocked called Collection. This tab quite simply allows you to get these passive bonus from each of the weapons that you have already leveled up. So because I had my weapon reach level 20, I was able to unlock this mastery which gave me 200 HP, and because it reached level 40, I was able to also get this one which gives me 500 HP. And as you can see, as you'll level up your weapon by uncapping the max level of the weapon and then leveling it up, you'll be able to get all of these bonuses. And this is important because all of these bonuses will apply even if you have a different weapon equipped on your current character, like I do. So for example, if I swap back to the Flamberge and put that as my main weapon, I can still come here and unlock these masteries which will boost my stun power as well as increase my attack power, and these effects are going to be active even though I have the Flamberge equipped rather than this other weapon. Now, a fantastic quality of life feature that this game provides is being able to complete side quests very quickly without you having to go all the way from one end of the town to the other just to find the NPC so that you can complete the quest. By opening the main menu, you can come here into side quests, and if you have a quest that is ready to be completed, you can simply click it here and it will teleport to the client. And as you can see, that is very fast. Now, one thing to note about this is that if you have a side quest on a different hub town, you won't be able to teleport to it right away, so you will have to manually go back to the ship, select that town, and only then will you be able to teleport to complete the quest. Speaking of the ship, be sure to run around the ship for a little bit whenever you get the chance, because quite often you'll be able to find some hidden items around the place, so it's always a good habit to take a quick lap around the ship and pick up any items you find. But also something that I totally missed for most of my playtime up until this point was that you can come up here to the training dummy and, well, you can freely practice all sorts of combos, try out a character, see how everything feels. You can also try out the score attack and time attack, where you basically just see how much damage you can put out in a set time period, just to see how that will work. So once that is done, you'll get your battle results with the total number of damage that you dealt throughout that period, and you'll be able to compare that with different characters and with the different time limits. And with time attack, you pick up a basic difficulty and you try to see just how fast you can take down one of these enemies. And just like that, I was able to clear that in 15 seconds. So this is a very good way for you to try out different combos, see what works best in different scenarios. And because each character is very different compared to the others, and some of them can be quite complex, I recommend you to spend some time in the training area, learning all the different combos and the intricacies of each character. Another very important thing that I don't think the game properly highlights and is an amazing feature is the ability to create custom loadouts with each different character. So for example, with Percival I can simply save my current loadout and then I can go ahead, change the weapon, change all of my different sigils, let's pick 3 attack power 1s, let's even change his skin, and let's get rid of a couple of skills, and let's just have the X seal for whatever reason. So I can go here, save it as a second loadout, and you can even rename these loadouts, change their icons as well. So if you have a loadout that is more focused on offense or support, you can easily identify it. And as you can see, this is my current loadout, but if I go here and I change to my previous loadout, I now have the Flamberge equipped with all of my previous sigils and all of my previous skills. So a very good quality of life feature, especially for characters like Ren for example, that thanks to the different masteries you unlock can be much more focused on applying debuffs, being a support character by providing heals to your team, as well as the ability to provide damage resistance, or even just become a straight up tank, letting them take damage for their allies. And so you could have a different loadout page for each of the different playstyles that you desire, and that is very useful, something to keep in mind at all times. Another very important thing that the game allows you to do, especially if you're someone that, like myself, likes to swap characters around a lot, you can actually, much like with the loadout, save your current party setup. As you can see right here, I have one with Percival, Gita, Fairy and Rosetta, and in this one I swapped out Rosetta for Narmaya, and you are able to make it so that in one party setup that same character can have different weapons compared to the other, as well as skills and sigils. So this is a very handy feature to keep in mind at all times. And much like with the character loadouts, you can of course also rename them and change their icons as much as you want. Now there's actually a few settings that I think are very important and that you may want to change in the options menu. So if you come down here to gameplay, you have these settings that are all tied to your Skybound art, which is of course that big burst of damage that you deal in combination with the rest of the party, which will often destroy enemies. So this setting, Skybound art activation, you can make it so that your allies will either use their Skybound art immediately, so once the bar fills up, or if they wait for an opportunity to where the game calculates if you and the rest of the party have enough meter filled up to be able to reach a full burst if they activate it then. And because you want to reach full burst to deal as much damage as possible rather than doing a 2 or 3 player chain, I would recommend having this set to full burst only. You can also make it so that your allies prioritize using the Skybound arts on regular enemies or only boss fights, and of course I do believe that it is better if it is prioritizing bosses. And you can also use this toggle to make it so your allies will or will not activate their Skybound arts for a chain burst. And in some cases it might actually be best to have this off, especially if you're fighting an enemy that has a specific elemental weakness and you want a certain ally or even yourself to be the one to start it. But that's a bit more specific, so again it is something that you can toggle at any time. Something also to keep in mind is that each different enemy that you're going to face off against will have a corresponding weakness which will be indicated next to their name and health bar. This is, of course, especially important for boss fights to deal as much damage as possible, so you can choose to go with a character that deals super effective damage against that enemy, or even add skills of that element just for that boss fight alone. Now, as you play throughout the game, you'll come across these big chests in the town hubs. You'll find many more of these in the second town as well, that require special keys to open them, with this blue chest in particular requiring a silver key. Well, very simply, the way to get these keys is pretty much just complete side quests, as some of them, like this one, will reward you with a silver key. So let's go ahead and pick it up. And if I open this chest right here, I get attack power 3, health 3, 5 fortitude crystals and 1500 rupees, so a pretty big haul out of that chest. Look out for these chests. The game doesn't have a proper map, and so you can't really mark the spots where you can find them, so be on the lookout for those chests and keep on doing side quests to get the keys to open them. So as you can see, with that same key I'm able to open this blue chest even though it's on a different town. And later on, as you play throughout the game, you'll be able to do a side quest where you can get a key to unlock these white chests. Another thing that every player should know is exactly what each of the consumable items do. So let's get hits and I'll show you what each of them do. So if you press up on the D-pad, you'll be able to heal yourself for a little bit, and you have more healing items from that type. If you press left on the D-pad, you'll be able to get a full heal, which heals your entire HP. The right button on the D-pad will be able to heal the rest of the party, so if you take a look at Jita, for example, who's about to die, I use the item and now she's back up to full or close to it. And when I'm dead, I can use the revival potion by holding down on the D-pad, and that is what that item does. So keep these in mind at all times because you're going to need to know all of this information. Also, I'm sure that by now most of you know that you can open this menu to use stickers and perform emotes, but while you are in the middle of a quest, it can be difficult to use these. Well, you can actually open this communications menu very quickly by simply holding the same button you use to open this menu. So on the PlayStation controller, it would be the tab button, or at least I believe that's what it's called. And if you ever want to edit what is shown there, you can come here into the co-op settings, communication, and here in the communication wheel, you're able to edit all of those callouts and emotes and have them separated between you being in town or in a quest. And also, if you're worried about what exactly is the serial code, you don't need to worry about this, it's just a redeemable code for the mobile game, so if you're not interested in that, don't worry about it. There is a lot more to Granblue Fantasy Relink that I want to cover here on the channel that I haven't spoken about in this video. I've just started getting into different builds, trying to create the perfect party setup with the right skills and the right sigils, because I really do want to start getting into build crafting and creating some very powerful characters and showcase them here on the channel for you guys. So if you are interested in more Granblue Fantasy Relink videos, please subscribe to the channel, and if you have any questions, make sure to drop by my livestream where I'll be playing the game and talking to you guys. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching, my name is Dark Hero, and as always, happy hunting!